Welcome, viewers, to the new edition of the Manish Tiwari Show. My show is about multicultural Britain, and I bring on the voices who stand up for this community, for a multicultural community, and who stand up for all of us. Today, we have in our studio Lord Rami Ranger, a remarkable man. Lord Rami Ranger, CBE, FRSA, and now, as you can guess, he's a Lord. He's been in the House of Lords for the last 2 years. He is one of the chief architects of the Conservative Party, attracting South Asians, and he's inspired hundreds, if not thousands, of people to join politics, to join the Conservative Party, and to change the destiny of this country. Lord Ranger, welcome to my show again.
Thank you very much, Manish. Thank you for your patience. Last week we had some challenging times.
Hopefully, sir, technology, we all know, throws its own challenges, and hopefully we should overcome it this time. Sir, you truly are a multifaceted man who has possibly achieved every dream an average person, and I would qualify that even further, an average migrant would ever dream of. You got a great business going. You are the chairman of Sunmark Limited, which is a big multi-million pound business. You got a great family. I know your daughter, she's into politics as well. You obviously have achieved the lordship, and you are a leader in public life, and you do remarkable amount of philanthropy. I've heard a lot of great stories about you, and I often see that anyone who has turned up at your door has not returned empty-handed. You have striven, even when you did not need to. You've taken that extra mile and gone and supported them. So my first question will be, what keeps you so motivated? What keeps you so engaged? Because mostly when I see Asian men in their 70s, and I don't want to reveal your age, but people in their 70s, they want to retire, they want to lead a peaceful life. They want to mostly be contained within their family, with their grandchildren. And I don't see a lot of them striving hard to make a difference. And you definitely are an exception. So what keeps you so motivated, sir?
Manish, very good question. We all have one chance. Life is one-time offer. Whatever we do with this life is up to us. And I remember a शब्द गुरबानी शब्द ए शरीरा मेरा इस जग में आया क्या तू कर्म कमाया. Oh my body, you came to this world. What good have you done for the world? So those words remain in my mind, that I'm here temporary, but I could leave a legacy which people will remember long after I've gone. And for that reason, there's another thing. What you do for yourself, it's just everybody does for something. But when you do something for others, for the society, the community, that bring you a lot of respect, and that respect you just cannot buy. So therefore, it's been my great honor to be able to serve my community, serve my country, adopted country, and get a lot of love, respect as you are giving to me now in return, which I could never have bought. And I made my own place by doing things which I knew will benefit a lot, to the wider world.
Thank you, sir. And I must say that I've interacted with you in public life many a times, and I feel that genuine respect. And I see that constantly whenever you're engaging in public life, in community life. It's not that you are only doing it at a certain event. It's just in everything which I've seen you doing. And you were very kind to also support in times of need through your leadership, through your mentoring. So thank you very much for that. I know I've read your book, and that again is a remarkable book, From Nothing to Everything. It kind of essays your life. And one of the most important or essential chapters of that life is the beginning. And that beginning is with 1947, a time which obviously is a dark day in the history of not just India, Pakistan, or the subcontinent, but a dark day in the history of human life as we know, or humanity as we know, in the last few hundred years. I mean, there's never been a worse time when such a mass genocide happened and the world did not react. We were obviously under imperial rule. So my question is actually twofold. First is that your beginning was 1947, which was, as I said, a dark chapter in the history of this country and the subcontinent. And from there, you kind of navigated your way into Britain, and you came to this country in 1971. So, what has been your learning? What has been your learning from that chapter of your life, from 1947 to 1971? And has that given you the edge? Has that given you the motivation? Because I feel that possibly that's what has motivated you and kind of kept you going and given you the the real drive to move forward to change things in your own life.
Manish, you are absolutely right. I was born during the most unfortunate chapter in human history when brother turned against brother. We were killing each other in the name of religion. Because, as you rightly said, we were under imperial power. They ruled us with a policy of divide and rule, and they wanted to leave us by dividing and running. They want to divide and run. So their aim was to create division between us based on religion, so that we hate each other and we become each other's rivals, and there will be no peace. But sadly, uh, they managed to divide us, and as you can see, the consequences of that division. On the day we were divided, over a million people, innocent people lost their life. Many innocent people, tens of millions, lost their own home, became their refugee in their own country. And my father was one of them who lost his life because he was a visionary who could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. He pleaded with the then Muslim leader not to cut and run and fall for the British divide and rule policy, which had turned into divide and run. He said India will be secular and democratic country with one person, one vote. As a result, together we'll make our destiny. If we go our own way, we will become rival forever. There will be nothing common between us. Our strength has brought unity, has brought us the independence. If there is so much strength in unity, why divide ourselves? But sadly, British had offered people something for nothing on the basis of religion. You can have something not on merit, not on qualification, not on achievement, just because you're a Hindu or Muslim or Sikh, you can have something. But anyway, some people took it sadly, and the consequences are that we had four wars since, with further loss of life. Billions of pounds are spent on arms, which we can ill afford. That money should have gone to education, health, environment, and infrastructure. But the money has gone to waste, and now we are nuclear adversary. That is the hate that generated in 1947. So my father was a leader. He was unfortunate because we were in Multan, uh, and DAV school Multan, a student of DAV school Multan took out a procession, peaceful procession against the division of India. Unfortunately, they got caught in communal riots. My father, being a local leader, went to save them. He was already a marked man because his views were against partition were known widely. Everybody knew that this man is against the partition of India. He used to say Akhand Bharat, uh, and his words were India's diversity is the like is like the color of a rainbow. Its charm will diminish if one is removed. We should remain united as the color of rainbow. So when he went to save the student, he managed to save the student, but somebody smashed his skull from behind with a stone, and then as he fell, they stabbed him as well. So he was killed at the young age of 42 for Hindu Muslim unity and for the unity of India. So we lost everything during partition. We lost our ancestor home, country, breadwinner, and we became destitute refugees. People had turned very angry. They were really trying to kill anyone who came their way. So my mother, having lost everything, she was expecting me at that time. She was 7 months pregnant. So I was born 2 months after the assassination of my father. I never saw my father. And then my mother came to a place called Gujranwala where her parents were after my birth, and I was only 20 days old when the riots started in Gujranwala. So then by we had to flee on a refugee train to Firozpur. And luckily, we had a remarkable mother. While people were collecting their jewelry and precious things, my mother collected my father's papers, his certificate, his press cutting, letter from his friends. He was a class fellow of Swaran Singh, who was the foreign minister of India, first one, Hukam Singh, who was the speaker. So they were very that although she brought, and my father's reputation saved us. On the train, we could not get on the train because people are on top of the train. They're hanging from every point, windows, doors. You just couldn't get in. But my mother went to the engine driver and pleaded with him that I'm the wife of Nanak Singh, who was murdered, and the engine driver knew my father, and oh, he was shocked. He said he was a good man, and he said, "Look, I can't help you get on the train, but if you don't mind, you can sit on the coal tender, the where they keep the coals." So we all sat on the coal tender. We all become black. My brother tells me when every time the engine whistled, I used to go blue with fright. So they'll put their hand on my ears, and the few hour journey took one whole day. The train was stopping, starting, stopping, starting. People were looted on the way. It was easy target. Women were taken away. A lot of looting took place, and horribly we reached Firozpur. But sadly, the floods came to Firozpur, and evacuation became mandatory. You had to leave Firozpur because it was underwater. And my mother again, a remarkable woman, 8 children. I'm in her lap, 20 days old. She managed to get a Tonga, from Tonga to nearest station, from there to buses. She arrived in Patiala because we heard that there's a refugee camp Maharaja has opened in Patiala. So this is my life, age 20 days old, in Patiala refugee camp, no father, and completely a strange place.
Lord
So
Ranger,
I can only say,
will just take a short break. I mean, this is a heart wrenching story, and at the same time, I can't help but feel sad at what you went through. I mean, that's remarkable that your mother, and I must salute her at this moment. And I know you mentioned her in your book as well, and recently launched a book about your father as well. So this was truly a heroic act, and the nation, the Indian nation, definitely owes her for raising a family like yours and for raising you. We'll just take a short break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. So, viewers, we have with us here today in the studio Lord Rami Ranger. My Lord, you truly have a remarkable story. And one thing I must say, because I remember reading Salman Rushdie's book, Midnight's Children, it is about children born in the year 1947. And I must say that possibly you are one of those. You were born in the same year. And his story, interestingly, is from 1947 to 1971 and has some remarkable turns and plots. Sir, coming back to our conversation, we talked about how the Imperial Britain divided erstwhile India into two nations, and now actually it has been divided further into three countries. One question I have for you, you are a lord under the conservative government, and the conservative gave you the peerage. So, what do you feel about that? Don't you feel that in some way, and have they really changed their attitude? Do they feel differently about the imperial past? What is your view on that?
To my mother, who raised us single-handedly, eight of us, through immense difficulty. She was she worked as a teacher. She instilled the right value in us, and those values, with value, people are what they are. I mean, this small country, Great Britain, because of her value, it has become a world power. India today is a positive force in the world because of the value system we have. And all the blue chip companies are run by Indians because we are taught to use merit, not to devalue our fellow citizen with the help of religion. So therefore, the values are very important. So I owe everything to my mother, and to be in the house of Lord is not, I can say, dream come true. When I was growing up in India, I could not dream of being among the good and the great of Great Britain. I only wanted to have a decent living where I could secure myself and my family. But to get all these accolades, it could be my mother's blessing because I don't deserve half of the thing I get. I received five Queen's Award for my business. No other British company has those. I became the Institute of the Director of the Year. Again, a great honor for the Indian business to beat 600 fellow directors. All those accolades, export champion, I can only say they're the blessing of Almighty and my mother. My mother used to say, "Son, efforts are in our hand, rewards are in the hand of God. You do your best and leave the rest to Almighty." And that's exactly what I did. When I used to work hard, now you're giving my age away. I'll be 74 in July. So, so therefore, when I worked 50 years non-stop in this country, in those years, I did not watch my clock because if those who watch their clock can never succeed. So my job was I used to get tired and I look up in the sky and say, Lord Almighty, I'm not going home. I can't do anymore. And that's how whatever I did, and the old, old-fashioned values that you can't fool all the people all the time. Yeah, efforts are, we have to do our best, sincere effort, and you don't have to be very clever to succeed in life. You have to be sincere. You have to put your effort to the best of your ability. And that's exactly what I said. And my mother's five principle are self-respect. Yeah, you have to have self-respect. If you don't have self-respect, you'll cut corner, you let people down, customer, supplier, they all, you're just giving them bad service or whatever. Work ethics is very important, that you work ethically, your customer do not get shortchanged. Our philosophy is we only succeed when our customers succeed. We do our best to help them succeed, and that success becomes our success. Commitment is very important. If you are not committed to your cause, no matter if I'm, casual effort, casual result. So I have to work harder than the guy next door. And this is how the Indian community succeeded. When we came here, we had so many handicaps, but we worked longer hours, more days to compensate our handicap, lack of English, lack of old schoolboy network, and all these financial strength. But we overcome. You have to have vision. You have to have vision where you're going and how you want to get there. Without vision, you're a headless chicken, unable to find your destiny. And finally, you have to have empathy for others. You have to empathize with people. You have to make sure your suppliers are paid on time, your staff is trained properly, because the business is game of people. Money does not make money, people make money. So if you don't train your people well, you don't treat them well, you are a non-starter. Your business is not going well. So and empathy for your junior, empathy for your senior, and empathy for your customer. All around you have to empathize with people, that you want to treat them the way you want to be treated. And these five qualities are a secret to success. You don't have to have a rich father I never had a rich father, let alone a rich one. No elite education, as you can imagine. As a refugee, I could not go to a public school of, no family wealth. We were all refugees. My uncle, my aunt, my nana, chacha, some refugee. Yeah, nobody could help each other. We were all in the same boat. And no old schoolboy network to help me. I didn't have any connection. I came as an immigrant, but I decided to do something to about the state because we were not treated well when we came in 1970. I came in 1971 in May, and I saw, we were looked down upon. We were not treated equally. People never, I said, this is, we have to show something. And I'm so glad that Indian people, they work so hard and they proved themselves. I remember the first loan I wanted from the bank, he refused. But luckily, I was told by mother that, son, you will always find a good person. Keep looking. So I went from one bank to the other to the other. Fourth bank offered me the loan to buy my first warehouse. And from one good thing led to another. Today I have got 20 warehouses. Yes, that just shows you will always find a good person willing to help you. So you have to keep looking. The world is full of them. So my mother's wisdom always came back to guide me. And that so the Indian people came, they prayed, proved themselves. And today, if you're an Indian person, you can get as much loan as you want from the bank because our track record is so good. And again, we came with the values from India that we are a product of a secular, democratic country. We can integrate very quickly. We are in every field of British life. We're in the army, we're in the police, we're in the business, we're in the NHS, we're in the transport, railway. So we are contributing a great deal to the success of this country which we have adopted. So therefore, politics also, you can see, politics. I started British Asian Conservative Link when because that's another story that in business people headhunt. They go out of the way to find somebody to join them. But in politics, people actually undermine other to surge ahead. They don't give you a chance because it's either you or them. So therefore, we decided it is wrong to, in a democracy, to have a major political party, conservative party, with no representation. So for 20 years, you probably came to many of my events and dinners. We supported, I think you probably came to fundraising dinner as well to support our peers. And because, leaders have to be created. Leader needs support. So we did that for 20 years. We had to convince the Conservative Party that if a bad employer doesn't look after his staff, he goes and work for the competition. You are sending us to Labour Party. We share your values, and a vote to the other party is a loss of two to you. We are good accountant, good doctor, good solicitor, good businessman, but we are not good MP because you don't give us good seats. Yeah, you give us a rotten seat where we have no chance of succeeding, and then you damage ourselves. But in the end, after 20 years, they are very fair people. I never thought that in my lifetime I'll see so much changes. That we'll have a four cabinet member from Indian community, three Secretary of State, one Attorney General, and on top of that, they made me a troublemaker, a peer. That just shows the British sense of tolerance and fair play. They will eventually, if your logic is correct, and you're a positive guy, you will always succeed. So my logic was very sound that in a democracy everyone has a share, and in a democratic government, every community should have a share. It should reflect the makeup of modern day Britain to improve because we do need role model in politics. If people think it's a Mount Everest, nobody will come. But anyway, it's a history now. We are a truly inclusive party, and the Indians are coming forward to become more consular. My daughter is a consular. She'll become member of parliament by next election, and so it's all positive thing. And more importantly, if you don't take part in the decision making process, then somebody else will make it for you, and you will suffer. So, there is a old proverb: if you want to see heaven, you have to die. Yes. no one can come back and tell you how beautiful heaven was. So similarly, if you want to bring about change in this country, which is good change for the overall benefit of the community, then you have to take part in this politics. It's not that you make money, and you have no time because then I'm sorry, because when I started, I realized that Indians have big houses, big cars, big weddings, big restaurants, jewelries, and all that. And if our house is on fire, my name is Mr. Singh or Mr. Shah Patel, fire brigade may not turn up. Because that's what happened in the Jewish to the Jewish community in Germany, because they were also successful, but they never took part in public or political life. So I wanted to, do my humble contribution to make them realize it was difficult, but not now. Everybody understood that this is our country. We are not immigrant. We're not going back. Our children, grandchildren are here, so it might as well now take some interest.
Thank you, Ramiji. One thing I don't agree with you. You said you don't come from a rich family. I would say that you come from a very rich family because your mother and your dad had very rich values. So, I would say that you come from a very rich heritage as well. Sir, we're going to take another break and we'll be back soon in 2 minutes to continue the conversation with Lord Rami Ranger. Welcome, viewers. Welcome back to the Manish Tiwari show. We have Lord Rami Ranger with us in the studio today, and we had a very interesting conversation. He was kind enough to take us through his life journey. Lord Ranger, welcome back to the show. My Lord, I'm going
Thank
to
you.
ask you something which bothers me a lot, and which is about India and Pakistan. In my own life, I've seen Germany, East Germany, and West Germany coming back together, and have seen deep and dark differences between the East, which is the former Soviet bloc, and the West, narrowed down. But we can't see anything like that happening between India and Pakistan. In fact, it only gets worse. And the critiques of Prime Minister Modi say that he has made things even worse. I'm not obviously saying anything in favor of Imran Khan, who's the Prime Minister of Pakistan, but I can clearly see the dynamics have not changed. And I believe that Prime Minister Modi did try right in the beginning to create a conciliatory environment, but it has clearly not worked. And the bridge, or rather the divide, is kind of even deeper than before. So what do you think, sir? How can we, in this country, Indians and Pakistanis live next to each other. And I know you're a man of liberal values. You have a lot of Pakistani friends. You were, in fact, leading something called India-Pakistan Friendship Forum as well, not very long back. So when we can coexist peacefully in the United Kingdom, in Great Britain, why such huge and, this constant animosity and war between the two nations, which obviously, as you rightly said early in the show, is draining resources and is creating things like very dangerous situation, two nuclear adversaries pitched against each other, sir. What do you think? How can we go about this?
Manish, this is the most important challenge facing mankind. I won't say India, Pakistan, mankind. If there's a nuclear flash, it will engulf the whole region or maybe the world, because the nuclear radiation can travel through wind, miles and miles. As you heard, remember the Chernobyl nuclear accident? the
Yeah.
radiation arrived in United Kingdom. Yes, a lot of sheep
True.
were culled. Therefore, it's now very serious to have a friendship between the two countries. Our rivalry has led to lot more difficulties for the poor people who have no voice, and therefore I think things are going to change because India is now clearly emerging as a world power, superpower, economic power. So many benefits are having a friendship with India. The countries are queuing to invest in India, to do business with India, and it is only a mistake on the part of Pakistan not to reach out to their next door neighbor. They were once we were together. We have shared history, shared heritage, food, language. And there are more Muslim in India than there are for handful of Kashmiris, maybe 10 million total. You don't want to jeopardize the respect and future of over 200 million other Muslims with your actions. And besides, the Kashmiri Muslim can elect leader of their choice. They can form political parties. They can run the state as they want. But what they can't do is devalue their fellow Kashmiris. And it's about time the leadership in Pakistan realize that by using religion and by undermining your fellow citizen on the basis of religion is not the way anybody can progress. You can see it in 47, two countries were created, one to promote people on the basis of religion, and the other to promote regardless of religion. Where is the country which is based on religion? India is landed on Mars, it's on the moon, it is fighting COVID as a responsible government. All the blue chip companies are run by Indians. So by standing in short grass, we'll appear to look tall, but we're not tall. You can't eliminate competition by using religion. That from Punjab, get rid of all the Hindus, all the Christian, all the Muslim. So leave the field for Sikhs. And what kind of Sikhs you will have if they have no competition? So we have to be against countries based on religion because they do not do anything for the mankind. No scientific, technological, or medical innovation has ever come from the religious country. The only thing we get is scholar of religion full of hatred for other religion. I mean, that is a stupid way of wasting your life. The life is to serve humanity and to move forward. But I'm very optimistic. Having you said about Modi ji, Modi ji is very keen to have relationship. Imran Khan is also very keen to have a relationship. Kartarpur corridor is a testament to their willingness.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Modi ji came on the opening of Kartarpur. So I was there. I went to the other side to Pakistan also, historical day, when Guru Nanak has opened the gate for those two countries who became rival. So therefore, the future is optimistic. The COVID has delayed my departure to India and Pakistan because my last aim and objective is to bring peace between the two countries because the peace dividend will be colossal. Look at the trade between India, Afghanistan, Iran can go through Pakistan, even to Russia, to Central Asian countries. And there are birthplace of Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikh faith, is in Pakistan. 300 other Gurdwara historical are in Pakistan. Sikh religion originated from Pakistan. People would like to visit their ancestral places and Gurdwara. The trade and tourism can really transform the region. Yeah, the Hindu people, Bhagat Prahlada's places, there are old, Lahore is Love Kush. There are so many historical places, ancestral home people will be visiting. And I dare say Lahore will become the most visited city in the world. People will just travel it. I think there is so much benefit. Kashmir is not going anywhere. Kashmir is part of India. It is secular and democratic. Women are enjoying equal rights in Kashmir for the first time. It has to be good for the mankind. You don't want to keep women at a disadvantage by using a religious card. And on top of that, look at in India, we have a minority commission headed by a Muslim. His job is to ensure that every community, every minority is protected and looked after. And besides, no country can move forward while keeping any section of her population behind. India is pouring money, record amount of money in Kashmir. Recently I sent you a video about the tallest bridge linking Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, there is so much investment going in Kashmir. If Kashmir becomes peaceful, it will be truly paradise because there will be a lot of five-star hotel. Indians will have their holiday homes. You will have tourism. The export from Kashmir can go to 1.4 billion people. Uh, your university, international airport, hospitals. That is the way forward. Not using religion to undermine others. Nobody has ever succeeded using religion, and I think I appeal to my Pakistani leaders. It's about time they learn from the leader of Bangladesh, who turned their constitution as a secular. It has become a tiger economy in the subcontinent now. Bangladesh is so moving so fast. Only way you can stop infighting is when the government accords equality to all, regardless of race, religion, or gender. We are There are countries where there's a very peace-loving Ahmadiyya community, which is my very progressive community. They are not treated equal in Pakistan.
My
The
lord, I
Ismaili
would like to
community.
interrupt you. I'd like to interrupt you. I would like to ask you that, of course, I mean, we would like this to happen in our lifetime, hopefully in your lifetime and in my lifetime, that these two countries find a way to be together. But it does not quite look like, at least in the recent times. And I had an important question. What do you think is the role of British government, because you now part of the conservative peerage, and you are party to the decisions which the Conservative Party now makes, even in terms of foreign policy. What do you think is the role of this government, or let's not say just this government, but the British establishment, because they can bring about this
Manish,
change?
first of all, Manish, I will disagree with you as well. India Pakistan recently signed a ceasefire agreement. Yes, that is a historical agreement that they will not have cross border fighting. If that happen, that will stop the terrorists coming from the other side into Kashmir and disturbing their life. So I'm very optimistic. Yeah, good sense will prevail. We are not that stupid people. The 200 million Muslims are safe. No Muslim is leaving India because the country is so bad. In fact, Muslims are coming from Bangladesh into India. Yes, because India offers so much opportunity. So it is only the narrow-mindedness of the leaders who create fear in the mind of people. Yeah, Islam is in danger. Can you imagine? Is the fastest growing religion in the world. Yes, how can it be in danger? I heard that since the day I was born, all these stupid people frightening other people. India has given equality. We have president who was Muslim, not one, many. Yes, and we have got foreign minister, we have home minister, we have education minister, we have governor, chief minister, army generals, naval commanders, air force chief, Latif. So I think this is all completely nonsense to say the Muslims are, treated second class. You know, a bad mechanic will always blame his tool. Sikhs are also minority. I mean, look at during the COVID pandemic, the community which got recognition from all over the world, America, Canada, is a tiny community which is serving humanity regardless of race or religion. So therefore, I think we need a good leadership. So I'm very optimistic. The peace will prevail very soon because now that Pakistan was given a lot of arms by the Americans at one time, and they used those arms to attack India. But you can't fight wars having a financial aid or army arms from China or America. You have to have your own economy to sustain. So India's economy is gone from strength to strength. It's now number fourth economy in the world. Anyway, coming back to the United Kingdom, unfortunately, politics is a very dirty game. You heard many times. Politicians will play politics because if they don't play politics, they are out of job. The Conservative Party have understood, they have taken a stand that they are not going to interfere internal affair of India and Pakistan. They leave it to them. They're mature democracies. Both sides of this democracy, they can sit down and talk to each other and resolve their differences. Whatever assurance Pakistan needs, India should give. What India needs is a peaceful resolution. So the Kashmir, people of Kashmir become the wealthiest people in India. Now, coming back to the Labour Party, unfortunately, Labour Party politics of they have got up north a lot of constituency where there are a lot of Pakistani votes, and therefore they have to uh, listen to their constituent, and they have to do something what they ask them, rightly or wrongly. Yes. So therefore, so that is the point. With the Labour Party, there's a proverb: if a horse becomes friendly with grass, what will he eat? If Labour Party becomes straightforward, then they may lose some votes. Yes, so I hope, uh, but India and UK are going to sign a free trade agreement very soon. The British government sees India as the natural partner
Lord
for
Angel,
them to grow.
Lord Angels, sorry, sir, we coming to the end of the show. It has been a pleasure to speak to you, and it's certainly been very insightful. Sir, you said something earlier about the five values, and that is inscribed in my heart, and I definitely would take that home with me, and the viewers would also remember that. What would be your final parting words in these times of pandemic, when the economy is also in turmoil and we don't know, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, sir? What would be your final word to our viewers?
Manish, my final words are very simple. First, you must preserve your health. You must say, look after yourself, for yourself, your family. A person will go, but he will leave a very big gap in the family or friends. So your first job is to protect yourself and protect the NHS. Number two, remember, we are all temporary in this world. We are all representing our mother India. Our action and deed must not bring disrespect to our fellow Indian or to our country, because what we do will be reflected upon the other Indian. Yes, today Indians are well respected because we are playing by Indian values, and we treat our word Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Word is our village. For us, Britain is like our India. It's our adopted country, a country of origin, country. So there is no question of being disloyal, and a disloyal person will never progress in life. If you're disloyal to your employer, you will not be promoted. If you're disloyal to your family, you'll be kicked out.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Viewers, Lord Rami Ranger, it was a pleasure hosting him today in my show. See you again next week, next Saturday. Thank you.